I wish to thank you for your viewpoints. I thought they were all valid.
Right.
And we shall take your advice on board.
Yeah.
Mr. Shittlebob is obviously not in quite such a good frame of mind at the moment.
I'm in pain, Nathaniel. The last thing I need is that bitch telling us how to do our job.
You're not going to do your hemorrhoids any better by getting in this kind of state.
Okay, alright.
But I don't think we'll be doing word searches online.
What a preposterous suggestion. Some word puzzles or logical conundrums. I mean, have you ever heard anything so preposterous?
I think she should take a break, Reader Richard.
Oh, I think she's taking the piss.
I think she thought you.
That got under my skin. Anyway, anyone who does want to get in touch, and I'm sure there'll be plenty after that, please don't hesitate. Passive-aggressive film reviews @gmail.com. Over to you, Nathaniel. I've said enough, I feel.
Thank you. Take some deep breaths. Chill out now.
Okay.
Continuing after last week, Richard.
I'm just going to pop to the loo, Nathaniel. You carry on for a little while.
Oh, right. Do you want me to just carry on my own?
Yeah, you talk. I'm just going to go to the loo.
All right.
If you don't mind.
What a fantastically professional way to go about things. Okay. I've been following Jesus' advice. I've been keeping to his recommendations. And I've been going to church. Well, when I say going to church, I've been once. I found it a miserable and a dour experience. Didn't really instill much devotion in me, I have to say. Being surrounded by a throng of old women smelling of urine and singing Come By Yah. I've had better times. But it has served to raise my intrigue sufficiently to go and investigate further. When I say further, I mean different faiths. Perhaps my visions of the Black Jesus of the past 2 weeks weren't completely authentic, Richard. So over the next couple of weeks, I plan to go to as many of the differing places of worship I can tolerate.
You still going?
Yes, I'm still going, yeah.
Good, come on, carry on.
The listeners are listening if you're not.
Alright, fair enough.
I did pay a visit to my local mosque, and I'd like to offer my sincere thank you to the Imam there, Mr. Mohammed. I was made to feel very welcome. Very friendly people there. And they were far more ready to talk about their faith and their beliefs rather than the old dodderers at the church, who only wanted to indulge in conversation about the number 24 bus service, how it had broken down last week. It's interesting, Richard, that they hold Jesus in such high esteem.
Who are you talking about? The Muslims?
The Muslims, yeah. They just
of course they do. It's one of their prophets.
Well, it came as something of a surprise for me. That's right. They do see him as a prophet rather than the omnipotent God that you lot see him as. But they're still, obviously, they're still deem him worthy of praise. So
he's one of their prophets. Of course they do.
But it begs the question, why do kind of Muslims and Christians not get on better than what they do?
Because they're wrong and we're right.
Simple as that. Okay. Let's not get into that debate so early.
Well, you did ask.
I didn't ask. You just decided to mention. The service...
Listen back, Nathaniel. You asked.
Can I carry on with my point?
Continue.
Thank you. The service was an odd affair. Imagine, if you will, there's a rather important football match going on. All the home supporters are up for it, and in partisan mood. They're chanting and they're gesticulating and rather loud. Much the same as what was going on in the mosque, to be honest with you. Obviously it was all in a foreign tongue, and I couldn't really make anything out other than the regular repetition of Allah, Allah.
I mean, it's just jibber jabber, isn't it? Well, jibber jabber, mumbo jumbo, a walla walla.
When people are talking in Urdu and Gujarati and what, it's got to look like jibber jabber, isn't it, you intolerant fool? But no wonder the majority of Muslims are so slim, Richard. They're forever bending down, kissing the floor, getting back up again.
It's good for the stomach muscles.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Faith that keeps you fit, I'm all for that.
I mean, that's the only reason that they do that is, in 1906, a famous imam, who I've forgotten the name of, he figured out, really, way ahead of Western medicine, he figured out that by bending and pivoting at the waist, you use your stomach muscles, and therefore you can develop a six-pack. It's one of the pillars of Islam, is to develop a six-pack.
Oh, thanks, I didn't know that. That's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
So the Muslims are, they're fitness freaks as well.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. On to a different matter. You know, I've clearly bored you senseless with that information.
You didn't bore me, Nathaniel. Don't beat yourself up.
You're going
I was hanging on your every word.
You would git. I received a surprise visitor last night, Richard.
Go on.
I had quite a shock when I opened the door.
It wasn't Yvonne.
It was.
Oh, how did I know that? How did I guess that?
I don't know. Maybe you're in tune with the devil or something. I don't know.
Oh, well, it wouldn't be the devil, but something strange happened there, Nathaniel. I'll be honest with you.
You saw that one coming. That is quite odd, I have to say.
Well, you said it, and it was so strong in my head that it must be Yvonne. I couldn't, it was like a compulsion to say it out loud.
Right.
It was bizarre.
Well, anyway, I shall continue.
What did the old strumpet have to say for herself?
Well, before she walked in...
She's not there, is she, listening?
No, of course she's not here. No,
Right.
absolutely not.
You sure?
I'm quite sure yes. I've
Okay.
got someone in the room with me, Richard.
Mm.
It had obviously been raining very heavily. You know.
Uh-huh.
She was absolutely soaked, the poor dear. You know, all her black hair was wet and dripping, clinging to her face.
Well, she's blonde, Nathaniel. So are you sure it was Yvonne? She's blonde.
No, perhaps she's dyed her hair and tried to
So
distance herself from you.
you sure it was
I'm quite sure it was her.
her? Okay.
I had to invite her in, Richard. Obviously, she went upstairs to dry off.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, I stayed.
What off?
She had to dry off
Right.
from the rain.
Uh-huh.
She was rather wet
Yes.
on her head.
Keep going.
I stayed downstairs, of course, while that was happening. But then she came down, obviously, and we sat on the couch and we began to talk.
Mm-hmm.
She was clearly very concerned about what I had said last week about how her character appears to have changed.
Ah. Also, she's listening, is she?
Well, she's listening to some people.
Right.
Listening to some people.
Right.
She was very keen to address that situation. She was gentle and she was charming and very warm.
Right.
Like the Yvonne I'm used to hearing about. She looked very vulnerable, Richard, I have to say.
Nathaniel, where are you going with this? Can you get to the end point?
That's it. That's my last point.
Did you or did you not have sexual intercourse with my ex-wife?
Absolutely not.
Did you or did you not perform cunnilingus on my ex-wife?
Absolutely not.
Did you or did you not have a little grapple of my ex-wife's breasts?
I don't know if you're indulging in some kind of weird fantasy here, Richard, but we didn't engage in any sexual contact.
Did you or did you not remove your clothing at the same time as she removed her clothing, so you were both naked?
No, we just sat on the couch and talked.
Okay, good. Carry on.
That's it. That's all I got to say.
Did you believe her? I mean, what was your take on her? I don't know, her demeanour, her mood. What's she like?
It's good to get to see the full picture, isn't it? You know, when you're only hearing one side of the story, you're not hearing the full spectrum of what's actually going on.
I understand that, but she's a lying bitch.
Well, you're going to say that, aren't you? Because you're a judgment.
She's sending me threatening things through the mail. She's not to be trusted.
You're assuming that, Richard. You're assuming that.
Did she mention it?
She didn't mention it, no. No, she
Did you
didn't.
ask her?
No, I didn't. She was just charming company. I didn't want to spoil the mood.
That would have been, for me, question. If the positions were reversed and your ex-partner, male or female, had arrived at my door, sopping wet, I would have allowed him or her to dry off his or her head, and then when I sat down on the couch with him or her, question number one to him or her would have been, so what the hell is it with these threatening messages?
Well, Richard, you've got to understand that we don't all adopt the accusing tone that you do. Some of us just allow people to be, and she was in a rather emotional state, not helped by being pissed down on all night. And she wanted to get somewhere warm and talk to someone warm. And that's exactly what she did. I wasn't about to accuse her of putting threatening posters through your letterbox.
Why did she pick you?
I don't know.
Of all the people in the world, Nathaniel, why you?
Ask yourself the same question, Richard.
What do you mean?
No, you should work it out for yourself.
No, tell me what you mean.
Are you asking my opinion?
Well, yes I am.
Okay.
Why she picked you?
I think she came round to see a friendly face. I think she came round to give us the full picture of what she's truly like. Rather than Mr. Shittlebob's version of things.
Well, she's sucked you in good and proper, hasn't she, by the sounds of it?
Well, not yet.
You've fallen for this, haven't you? Did she bat her eyes at you? Was she weeping?
She wasn't weeping, but she was rather emotional, yes.
Don't believe a word she says.
Right.
She's trying to trick you, Nathaniel.
Perhaps you're right.
I am right. She's not to be trusted.
Let's see if she comes round again.
Anything else happened? Have you been taking any drugs this week?
No, I've taken no drugs whatsoever.
Oh, there's a turn up.
You have to have a week off from time to time.
I guess so, yeah.
Shall we move on?
Are we done?
I think we're done.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. Okay, loyal listeners, time to keep you informed with some brand spanking movie news and Hollywood developments. And Ben Stiller, erstwhile star of Zoolander and Meet the Parents, is looking likely to helm the most unlikely movie, horror flick The Mountain. Though details at this time are sketchy, as long as it doesn't feature Robert De Niro sporting an erection, we'll stay vaguely interested. George A. Romero swore blind he was done with zombies after the pretty disappointing Survival of the Dead, but word on my apparently bushy vine suggests that he's all lined up for a movie adapted from the book The Zombie Autopsies, Secret Notebooks from the Apocalypse by Stephen C. Schlossman. Make this a good one, George, for old time's sake.
Lynn Ramsey, director of recent released We Need to Talk About Kevin, is receiving nothing but plaudits for her current work. And in a recent interview, she revealed her next project to be an adaptation of Moby Dick, set in outer space. Gotta say, Lynn, this sounds about as cool as movies get. We can't wait. There's a Muppets movie on the way, penciled in for an early 2012 release here in the UK. And some of the old guard who voiced the original characters are up in arms about the style of humour. The discontent comes from the fact that Fozzie Bear breaks wind in the trailer, which apparently is out of keeping with the character of the old buzzard. People, it's the Muppets. Nobody really gives a shit, one way or the other. Okay, folks, it's the part of the show where we talk about a movie that's on current release. And this week, what else could we talk about apart from Paranormal Activity 3? Here's the plot. It's 2005, and Katie, from part 1, delivers a box of old VHS tapes to her sister Christy from part 2. You following? On the tapes, we as viewers witness the events in 1988 that introduced the demonic menace to the lives of the then 2 young girls. Things go bump in the night, doors open and close by themselves, and occasionally pieces of furniture are flung about the house. That's it for 86 minutes. Seen it, Nathaniel?
I've seen it.
Thoughts?
Well, I like to think that I would have enjoyed it.
But
I'd simply have to mention this.
Go on.
The great unwashed were out in mass again, Richard.
Ooh.
Polluting the auditorium, ruining the whole cinematic experience